Hello, everybody. Welcome to our D&D stream, which is the first time in like a month and a half.
No, I think it's just a month.
A month?
I'm hoping it's a
Been
month.
4 or 5 weeks.
It might be more.
It turns
it's
out when
been
you
a
have
little too
people in
long.
like 3 or 4 different countries recording, sometimes scheduling doesn't work.
That's very, very true. So, anyway, here we are. We're back. Welcome to Nuggets and Dragons. We're playing Storm King's Thunder. And last time we left off, you guys were in a very humorously named giant's tower, Zephyros, floating high above the clouds. And currently, we don't have an IB here to play Odegai today, so he's kind of just gonna sit
Jumping off the side of the
for a
cloud.
while.
Whee!
Yeah, he's
here somewhere. It's just that we don't care.
So what had happened last time was that giant vultures landed on the edge of the cloud with many people riding them, and they came inside the tower, spoke with the giant for a little while, and the giant, considered their offers and went upstairs and hasn't been back for a little while. And in the meantime, Greg has sort of just been talking to these vulture riders, trying to figure out what's going on, mainly just annoying them a bit.
Well, I mean, you say annoy, I say I've been talking to them a bit. Exactly. I mean, it's not my damn fault that they can't be sociable.
Well, it is your fault that you're out here by yourself talking to them while everyone else is sort of standing up in the main entranceway to the giant's tower.
Yeah, that part's on you.
Yeah, but have you met everyone else? Do you actually blame me for doing that? I feel like that's...
Anyway, we are pulling ourselves back into the game, and so here we are, cKnoor. Greg is standing outside talking to a vulture rider who is mostly ignoring him. The vultures there are sort of squawking and making bird noises, and trying to stay away, or trying to get in front of their riders as you approach, and sort of just guard them a little bit. They seem to not like the fact that you've been this close trying to talk to someone for a while.
Yeah.
The other riders are all kind of mostly ignoring you. What would you like to do, sir?
Well, I mean, so last time, I think they huddled away, and I was like, I guess I'm gonna stroll up to Vulture Rider 7 here and ask him if it's hard work to care for these majestic beasts.
He says, leave us alone, gnome. You've been bothering us for too long.
Come on, I've been here for like a week. It's super boring. You guys are the most interesting thing that's happened in a while.
How long have we been here, by the way?
At this point, you have been here for 3 days. This is your 3rd day in the tower.
I stand...
Just clearing the record.
It's time to roll for perception of time.
Well, yes, exactly. Like, is there a clock in this cloud
Can you
tower?
count days?
The sun?
Yeah, but we're above ground. Shit's weird here.
Okay, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't think Greg wouldn't necessarily say something and be like, if he says
Greg
a week.
Lying?
No, I think he's emphasizing for effect.
God.
So,
I think, do you
I
think
think
that's
he's
not lying?
purposefully misleading at this point.
Vulture,
I think that might
Vulture
be...
Rider steps forward, and he just gives you a bit of a shove. Just pushes you back, like back off. You get pushed backwards a few feet.
Fair enough.
I realized they were rude boys.
I mean, I realized that pretty early on, if we're being honest.
Yeah,
I don't know. I thought clerics and wizards would have more understanding with social cues, but I guess not.
I'm gonna back off towards the. I'm gonna back off towards the door, and then I'm gonna look at the rider that shoved me and just do the point at him kind of thing. Keeping my eyes on him.
Gotcha. he kind of steps forward a little bit. He's like, "Is that a threat? Are you threatening us?"
Dude, why are you so adamant to try and fight? I'm trying to be social.
I step up. Morgaine steps up and, hey,
Yeah.
listen, you guys have had obviously a stressful time. We've been having, I suppose, a stressful time. Let's just forget this whole shoving accident happened. We'll stay on our side. You stay on your side.
No, let's
and
just
we can
agree
all calm
that.
down.
Make a persuasion check, Morgaine.
Hold on. Yeah, charisma. So that's just a D20.
Yep. D20 plus your charisma.
19.
Nice. So you have 0 modifier?
Yeah, plus 0.
19. The rider kind of just scowls at you and then steps backwards into the rest of the group.
Thank you. Greg?
I turned to him again and said, "You know what? These people aren't very nice."
Greg, I do realize this. Do you realize that they're... I look over, like, probably half a dozen trained soldiers with half a dozen trained vultures. And
yeah,
they're looking for a fight. They're looking for an excuse to turn you into vulture food.
Dude, they wouldn't do anything. Not here. With the...
Okay,
No.
well, I think they would.
Well,
I'm not quite ready for you to die.
That's because you have a more of a pessimistic outlook on life than I do.
Could I roll an insight to see if they would fight here?
An insight? Yeah.
Yeah.
Please, go ahead.
I would like to remind you, Greg, I've been through some.
26 insight.
Yeah.
You get the impression that if he pushes them anymore, then shit's gonna go down.
All right. I'm not going to say anything. I just wanted to know.
Okay.
Greg, my friend, I've died once. I do not want to test my luck again because I feel like I've already used up a lifetime's worth.
You know what? Morgaine, I say, as I pat her. Well, I was going for her shoulder, but that's clearly that's not going to happen. So probably her wrist.
Yeah, probably.
And I'm go like, you know what, Morgaine? I can understand that predicament. And then I walk inside.
Okay. You go back inside the giant's tower where Odagai is sort of just sitting in the massive wooden chair that is in there and completely ignoring everything else that's going on. You look up towards the ceiling a little bit. No sign of Zephyros, and it's been minutes, a half hour, maybe over an hour at this point. You're not quite sure since he went up, and you listen around a little bit. You can hear, the sounds of the tower, the wind rushing by. You can hear the vulture riders outside making noise. You can hear something from maybe two stories way above you where you thought you had spotted some griffins previously, but you don't hear the giant moving around upstairs. You don't hear any other sounds coming from up there.
You think he bailed on the vulture guys?
I mean, I'm sure he's just avoiding them.
Or he forgot.
I mean, either or, like, I don't expect that. He doesn't seem like the type of man. In any case,
giant?
he doesn't seem like the type of giant that comes to decisions lightly.
I feel like he's just, from what I've gathered, not the type of giant that like really cares about things.
Mm-hmm.
In the traditional sense of caring.
I'm gonna guess that he's gonna come down in a day. What do you guys think?
I think when he does come back down, he's not even gonna realize he has guests.
Yeah,
very likely.
Probably, yeah.
I'm definitely he's something. He's weird even for a wizard, which is pretty weird.
Hey.
I mean, the man
Are you
lives
challenging that statement?
Wizard, well, Yes.
He's not that word for wizard?
No, I'm just... that would imply that wizards are weird, and that's the statement I object to.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
You know what? Sure. Object to that all you want. And I lean down and pat him on the wrist.
See? This is why I go outside and talk to people, because you guys are awful at having a discussion. I say and storm around until I realize there isn't really anywhere I can storm off to and grumpily sit down somewhere else.
Okay, you walk over to an edge of the room and kind of just set yourself down away from everyone else.
So bored.
A little more time passes.
You guys want to play some more dice?
You know, I think I'm all diced out.
Yeah, me too. Anyone know any songs?
Do I? I don't actually. I don't actually know if I know any songs.
You would know some songs, most likely. You've heard songs before.
Exactly. And I have 12 in charisma. I have a +1. I can sing a nice gnome song.
Alright, Greg, let's hear a nice gnome song.
Make a performance check.
So this is basically one of the... I'm gonna be singing about how lovely it is in the forest and all of the nice yellow flowers, and also a fox. Essentially, it's a very well known forest gnome story. I'm sure.
Yellow flowers and fox. Yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, apparently, for those of you that haven't heard it before, it's very confusing, and Greg kind of sings out of key.
You forget what the fox actually says, and you spend most of the song wondering that. And after a minute and a half of this, one of the vulture riders comes up to the door and he's like, "Could you just knock it off, please?"
You guys are... Is the acoustics that good that you could hear it from being outside this tower?
We can hear you out there.
Okay. Do you guys have any, like... Is there, like, a second place you could go into there? To not hear us?
Can you settle the argument about whether wizards are weird or not?
Yeah, you guys
Giant!
think this guy's weird?
Our patience growing thin, giant. Come down. Speak with us.
Oh, I see. They're annoyed at that guy and not really us, but they're taking it out on us because we're here.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it.
And like we're kind of... I feel like we're easier targets to get annoyed
clearly.
at.
They could see us
riders
for a while.
glaring at you again, as you're
I'm
saying.
gonna glare right back at him.
You are a lot better at glaring too than I am, so that's...
He turns and storms back outside.
That's right.
That's what I thought.
Fucking no manners these days.
Yeah. You guys have any idea where they could be from? I don't think I can recognize their uniforms.
I don't know.
I've traveled a bit, but I don't know that I can
You
recall
could
anything
make
like that.
a history check if you would like.
Sure.
Let's see.
My memory's
Well,
not the best.
Greg knows nothing.
What is my history?
Yeah, like I said, I don't recognize them.
It's okay, it goes on might.
Nope.
I'm going to say that no, none of you really recognize their uniforms or, really know of a specific group that rides giant vultures around.
For some, maybe it was just you giving us some background info, but I thought I remembered somebody gleaning some information about them and being some sort of weird put the world back the way it used to be cult.
I don't remember.
Like return to
anything
the chaotic times or something. Am I making that up?
No. When one of the cultists was originally talking to the giant, he did say that they urged him to come help Yancy Bin return the world to its primordial state at the dawn of history.
Yes, that sounds right.
Oh, so they're
He,
cultists now.
he actually said that to the giant. But you don't recognize what that particular cult might be or anything.
Yancy Bin. Can I make a religion check on that?
Yeah.
Not that I'm actually good at
Are
religion.
you sure you want the religion man not to do it?
I mean, you could too. You also heard the words.
Oh wow! All right.
Take that, religion man.
16. Yancy Bin. You've heard the name before. You're not quite sure exactly who or what Yancy Bin is. You know it's somehow related to the elements. You think the element of air. You're not sure that it's a deity exactly, but it's somehow related to the the element of air in some way.
Hmm.
So being
Not
a
my
Tempest
specialty.
card didn't assist knowing anything about the air.
No, not anything
Okay.
extra. Not for this.
Yeah, it's not really my specialty.
So you guys wait in the tower for a little bit longer. Another half hour passes. Another full hour passes. Still no sign of the giant. One of the riders comes back inside again. He just ignores all of you, calls up. Giant, come down. Give us an answer. Complete
I mean,
silence.
you guys
from
have
upstairs.
vultures. You could fly up to him and ask him directly.
Look, I'm going to be square with you. Our host doesn't come down often or at any regular time. So, yeah. I also wouldn't recommend going up there because he said not to, but that's on you, not me.
He looks at you for a moment, walks away. You can hear him yell to the other riders outside. Prepare a camp. We're spending the night. As it is beginning to get later in the day at this point.
Oh, great.
Uh-huh.
Oh well, you know what? Maybe they're like, oh, it's we're gonna camp out. Let's sing songs or talk about shit. And they,
No, I don't think so, no.
I mean,
It
it must
don't
be.
no.
seem like the song.
There'll definitely be talking, but probably not singing.
I mean, at some point, you must tire of just standing around and not doing much.
Nah, not so much.
Well, I mean, they gotta take care of the birds, I guess. That's something to do.
So, and you guys try and claim wizards are weird.
I mean, they are. It's the magic. The magic's weird.
Magic's totally natural from a, supernatural perspective.
Sure. It's just the way they do it. I don't know. I've never met a wizard who wasn't weird. I'll put it that way.
You met me?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true. I did.
I'm a boss in this one. Sorry, Greg. I love you, but you're on the weird side.
I'm very disappointed.
It's not an insult.
Yeah, you're probably
It certainly
prescribing too
sounds
much
like
to
an-
that word.
It certainly sounds like an insult when it's coming from someone who lives in mud.
That's where I was born. I didn't choose that.
It's
I
true.
don't
You
really
did
recommend
choose
it.
your own fate, Greg.
I mean, being a wizard is a calling, and if you're called, you go do wizard things. Also, like if you could do this, and then I put like a light cantrip on my finger,
Okay.
and shake it away, wouldn't you?
No,
Sure.
gives away
I
your
put a light
position.
cantrip on my finger and shake
See?
it away.
Another little whoosh, the little beams of light appear on each of your fingers. And
Exactly, wizard stuff.
It just gives away your position.
Yeah, like
I'd also point out that I
it's
am
not a good idea
most
at all.
definitely not a wizard.
No, yeah, we figured. You're less weird than wizard.
You can hear the riders setting up a camp on the cloud outside. They circle their vultures around them and prepare places for them to sit down and rest.
I will point out I still have no idea what god you serve. I'm not familiar with that symbology.
I serve the god of storms,
Ah,
as evidenced by the lightning bolts.
sure. Aren't there a couple of those? Isn't that a regional thing? I feel like that's a regional thing. We were never
god
big
of
on storms back where I came from.
It's complicated, is really the best way to describe it.
So
while
hey,
there
I'm just
are-
gonna go out on a limb here, and the half orc was killed and then brought back to life via transference of
I roll up
the complicated's not really a problem.
my sleeves and flash my god tattoos.
I was referring more to the relationship between the gods of varying storms, depending on which religion you're speaking of.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
Because while there are many, there's also one that claims he's at the very top, and, everybody disagrees.
Right. Yeah, Death Pantheon is kind of messy too, so.
And then combine that with the fact that he's also sometimes the god of orcs. It's all messy.
Wait, who's the god of orcs? The storm god?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
know anything about that, Morgaine?
Do I know anything about that? I guess it would be a what? A religion check.
A religion check, yeah.
Could I have anything being raised up by half orcs and in like a half orc platoon have like advantage or anything? Probably not enough.
Not for this.
Yeah.
You think you're not
You've
really
probably
sure.
heard of Grumsh before,
You've heard of Grumsh,
but not necessarily that he's an aspect of Talos. Sometimes.
Yeah, but
Sometimes not.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know who the god of orcs is, but you're not quite sure how it relates to Kozan's deity.
Yeah, I don't know. Never got into worshipping the orc pantheon.
So you guys discussed this for a while, and the day slowly wanes into night, and no sign of your host from up above. Are you planning just sleep normally here? Are you doing anything special with the vulture riders outside, or?
Nah, screw those guys. They're mean. I don't like them.
Yeah. Agreed.
They can sleep outside if they want. Hopefully one of them will get blown off the edge.
That'd be cool. Do you think the vultures catch him if it happens?
Probably. Or
No,
at least try.
You make your own beds for the night. You sleep, and slowly the night turns into dawn. And you wake up the next day. You find the vulture riders are already awake outside, and your host comes down through the hole in the center of the ceiling, seeming a little worse for wear. His beard is a bit disheveled. His robes are all sort of wrinkled. He looks a little just messed up a bit.
Rough night,
one of his eyes kind of lists to the side a little lazily.
Huh.
Say wizards.
Rough night.
I don't actually remember the night. How are
Yeah,
you all
I've had a
doing
couple
this
of
morning?
those.
Slept kind of uneasy. I was kind of half expecting our vulture guest to They've been getting increasingly antsy.
Yeah, they're grumpy.
I should speak with them then.
Probably, yeah.
And he walks outside to speak with the vulture riders. What are you all doing?
I'm just gonna
Listening.
drop.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lean against the frame of the door and listen in and see what's going on.
Okay. He walks to the door and out and goes to speak with the riders. They all sort of gather around as he comes up to them. And he says, I believe that after meditation, I have decided that your interests are rather opposed to my own. I must ask you, please, to leave my tower. The Volta riders kind of look at each other and look at the wizard. He's like, you should beware Yancy Bin in becoming an enemy of his. And Zephyros looks down at them and says, as that may be, please, I must ask you to depart. And they all sort of look at each other, they grumble a bit, and then begin packing up their things and mounting their vultures. After a short while, they finish packing up, they get on their vultures, and they all leave. They fly away.
Oh, that was much more peaceful than I expected.
Yeah, honestly, I'm surprised they just were like, okay, we're gonna go now. Huh.
Well, I usually don't pick fights with wizards unless I have to, and a giant wizard seems even more dangerous. So
I guess.
can't say
I
I
mean,
blame
there
them.
were 8 of them.
Yeah, but like you could just step on them.
Could he? Sure, I'll take it. So what have you been up to, Zephyros? You look really, disheveled.
He walks back in with all of you, and he says, I was contacting heavenly beings to find out the best course of action. Very similar to the reason that I knew I should have picked all of you up when I did.
Naturally.
And with their guidance, I thought the best course would be to send these riders away.
They didn't seem like friendly types. Or like good types.
No, I feel like they were. I've met nicer people.
He picks up out of a pocket of his the little pouch that the riders had given him. He looks at it for a second. He says, "I feel strange keeping this. Why don't you take it?" And sets it down on the ground in front of you.
What is it?
He just floats back up through the hole in the ceiling.
Okay.
Classic wizard.
Sure. You guys think it's gold or you guys think it's magic?
I mean,
Stuff.
let me see.
Go ahead.
Okay.
What does it look like?
You go and pick up the pouch and open it up to take a look inside. Inside is a fine powdery substance, sort of with a little bit of a rainbow reflection, almost like glitter. But a more fine powder, like talc powders or something like that.
Okay. And
Make an Arcana check.
I can do that. So let's see, that's 13 plus, so 20.
20. Yeah, you recognize this substance. This is pixie dust.
Okay. What do you use pixie dust for?
Pixie dust is a component in certain spells, but it can also be sprinkled upon people to make them fly, among other things.
Okay. Yeah, so this is a pretty neat spell component. I should probably keep this.
Okay. I'm fine.
Yeah, okay. No problems here.
I'm gonna write down some pixie dust
All right, write that down.
somewhere. Oh. Right. Oh, now that I think about it, think about it, I'm not entirely sure if pixie dust is made out of pixies or if it's a dust pixies produce.
Yeah, you know, you've wondered this for a while, and not knowing how to make it yourself, you've never really got a straight answer from anyone.
No, and whenever I brought it up to pixies, they seem to be very. Seems like it's a rude thing to ask.
It's a bit offensive to them, yeah.
Well, someday I'll figure this out.
I mean, it's probably poop. It's gonna be poop, right?
Well, I mean, if it is, it can make you fly.
That's
so,
the swamping you're talking.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying, yeah, like, it's whatever, but, like, you don't get so secretive unless it's poop.
I mean, it could be like you kind of get secretive with bone dust too. Like, there's a lot of things that are
Do you?
worse than yeah.
Oh, don't start talking to the wizard about secrets. This will go on all night.
I'm just confused about the bone dust thing. It's just ground up bones.
Yeah, but I mean, like, poop doesn't necessarily have to be, disgusting. Or rather, I'm saying there are other things you might want to keep secret than bone dust. I mean, poop. Like bone dust, that's what I mean.
Greg just starts trailing off to himself like.
Greg,
Yeah.
Greg takes the pixie dust, and you spend the rest of the day here in the Giant's Tower. He brings you food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, as he's been doing for the past 4 days. Another 6 days pass by with basically the same thing happening. He just brings you food every day, barely talks to you at all, spending most of his time saying that he has to guide the tower's movement up on the second story of the building. He assures you each day you're getting closer and closer to Tribor, which is where you told him you were going. And as you look over the edge of the clouds, you see that you're indeed, moving slowly but steadily along at a good pace towards Tribor. Everybody make a perception check for me, please.
1 second.
Ooh. Whew.
Perception.
It's the high roller tonight.
Yeah.
I have a +7 and I rolled a 10.
Yeah,
that's pretty
I
good.
managed to get a 6.
Okay.
Well, some of us saw whatever it is.
Morgaine,
Mm-hmm.
you on the 10th day of travel here, you step outside to greet the early afternoon sun, take a little bit of a walk, stretch your legs a bit. You see something in the distance coming through the clouds. You squint, look further out towards what this could possibly be, and as it gets closer and closer and bigger, you realize what it is.
And it is.
A huge silver dragon glides through the clouds, approaching rather quickly.
Great.
As it gets closer and closer, you see it's clutching a number of armored dwarves in its talons.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do?
I run back in and I start shouting, "We've got a dragon coming in!"
Oh, that's good.
It gets better. He's got dwarves on him.
Wouldn't that make him? Wait. Have we pissed
Wait,
off
what?
any dwarves? We
Or-
haven't, right? So this isn't necessarily bad.
What's the relation of the dragon and the dwarves again?
The dwarves are. The dragon is carrying the dwarf. It's headed for us. We can.
Well, he's
I'm gonna go
carrying
out and look.
them.
I'm gonna go out and look at this dragon.
He's carrying him, which is better
Okay.
than dying.
Greg, you step outside. There is a very large silver dragon very rapidly approaching the tower. You got about maybe 20 more seconds before it gets to you. What do you do?
I shout at Sephiroth that there's a silver dragon incoming.
Okay, you shout to your giant host that there is indeed a dragon about to land on his tower. Shortly after, you hear the fluttering of the giant wings as the creature steps down onto the cloud base in front of the tower, dropping off 6 dwarves. Here, let's pull out some dwarves. They are all heavily armored, and begin walking towards the entrance of the tower. After dropping them off, the dragon takes off and flies to the roof of the tower and lands there and roars. The dwarves begin running towards the entrance of the tower. What do you guys do?
Do they running as in charging in, or
Yep,
running
they're charging. No, they're charging straight up to the entrance to the tower.
You know what? I'm gonna put mage armor on myself, and not stand in the doorway.
Okay, you very quickly whoosh, cast mage armor on yourself and back out of the door. They charge inside the tower past all of you. Move them all up in here, unless any of you are doing anything.
Nah.
Well, but yeah. I don't really want to.
Not right now.
Okay. Well, then you all step aside as the dwarves charge into the tower. They basically ignore you and begin looking around as if they're trying to find something.
Hello, dwarves. What are you looking for? Can we assist? What's going on?
One of the dwarves turns to you in a rather gruff voice, says, "Where is it? Where's the orb?"
We don't know what you're talking about.
The orb controlling the tower. Where is it?
We don't know. We've just been here on the first floor.
We're not allowed to go upstairs. Otherwise, the giant gets angry.
The dwarves look up and see the hole in the ceiling. They all pull out a potion and begin drinking it.
I think you kind of gave it away.
You probably don't want to go up there, or rather, we've been warned not to go up there. So do it at your own peril.
The dwarf just says, "Stay out of our way." As they finish drinking the potion, their form sort of shimmers and shifts and becomes almost like a completely gaseous shape. Like they turn into little dwarf clouds and begin floating up through the hole in the ceiling.
So, okay, so 8 guys on vultures can't take a giant. What do you think about a dragon and 6 dwarf guys?
I mean,
Is the dragon doing anything, or is it just like flying
It's
around
perched on
outside?
it's perched on top of the tower at this point.
So-
Okay.
here's a question that I had that I then promptly forgot what I wanted to ask. So
Okay.
let's ignore
Classic
that.
Greg.
Damn it. I was like, "Ooh, I need to know this," and then I just totally dropped. What the? Oh, right. I was gonna ask. So, is it likely that there's some type of magical orb that's powering this whole contraption, or is it
So
just
you
his...
actually had you probably forgot in a previous session you had talked to the giant about how
Yeah.
the tower works and how it was constructed
Yeah.
and how it moves. Yeah, there's a big orb upstairs that magically controls keeps the tower in the air and controls what direction it moves.
Okay. So it's kind of bad.
Yeah, if it's removed or destroyed in some way, it'd be pretty bad for you.
Maybe I shouldn't have told them.
We probably don't want them to get that orb.
You can hear them upstairs. You hear one of them shouting, "Stand aside, giant!"
Oh, we probably want to help then.
I can fly.
How much dust do I have?
Look in the pouch. You estimate about 6 pinches of pixie dust.
Well, I'm gonna put one on Morgaine, one on Boss, and one on Kosan.
Okay, for each of you that you're putting the pixie dust on, roll a d100.
Ooh.
Nothing ever good comes from that.
So, what are the odds that the giant knew this was going to happen?
Yeah.
I think if he knew he's operating on like a level, on so many levels beyond.
Okay, so Morgaine and Kozan, make a Constitution saving throw for me.
Okay.
Maybe I should have done this one at a time, I guess.
So it's a 1d20 plus my bonus.
Constitution save, yeah.
Yeah, so it's plus my Constitution bonus plus proficiency, right? Yeah.
Only if you're proficient in Constitution,
I am
which I believe
proficient.
you are. Yeah.
I am.
Okay, Morgaine and Kozan, as Greg, basically he takes just a quick little handful of pixie dust and flings it out over all 3 of you. Morgaine, Kozan, you get the dust in your face, you sneeze a little bit, you feel sick for a moment, and then kind of shake it off. Boss, you begin you feel really light. You kind of lift up in the air about a foot and a half or so. What would you like to do?
This normally only happens after I drink too much. I don't know. I'm gonna stick my fists out and try flying? I don't know how it works.
Yep, you have a fly speed of 60 feet right now.
Hey, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, Boss lifts up into the air, away from everyone else.
I'm aiming for that hole.
That's cool. Why didn't that happen to us?
Probably because you haven't accepted the fact that he's putting fairy poo on you. You just have to believe.
It's not fairy poo!
I'm the one
Boss,
who's
you fly
flying.
Into the ceiling, and you see the 6 dwarves squared off against the giant who appears to be casting a spell and is standing in front of a large green glowing orb.
Howdy, folks.
Morgaine, Kozan, Greg, what are you guys doing?
Are we able to fly or no?
You put your arm up and kind of jump a little bit. No, you're solid on the ground there.
Okay, well, I'm
More
gonna
pixie dust on me.
pixie dust Morgaine again.
Okay, roll a d100. Make a Constitution saving throw. Basically the same thing. You feel a little sick for a moment. You get a little lightheaded, and then you kind of just shake it off.
Okay, you're clearly immune. Do I have time to do the same on Kosan?
Yeah.
Okay, let's try Kosan again.
All right.
How long is my rope?
Kozan, you feel the pixie dust wash over you, and you begin floating up into the air.
Okay. Well, I'll fly upstairs.
You fly upstairs. You see Boss standing there on the edge of the hole in the tower, and you see the dwarves squaring off against the giant, who is now finishing his spell. He releases it at the dwarves, and he says to them, "You do not want this orb. Leave this place." A few of the dwarves kind of look at each other and start walking towards the edge of the hole, but 2 of them do. The 4 remain there, squared off against it. Get out of the way, giant! We're not going to tell you again. cKnoor, what or any of you? What are any of you doing?
Well,
I'm gonna say that this giant rather is friendly, and there's no need to fight him. He's been fairly reasonable so far.
You're trying to talk to the dwarves?
Yeah.
Classic mistake.
Make a persuasion check.
What is my? Oh, my persuasion's great. Nice. I got a
Very
5.
nice.
5.
Mhm. I am
Uh,
going.
the-
Go ahead.
The dwarves that are there, 2 of them move over to square off against one against Kozan, one against Boss, since you're each there. Boss, what are you doing?
I'm gonna look up to what's it, Zephyros? Is that his name?
Zephyros, yes.
Big Z. Can you hold this end of the rope for me? And I toss him. I pull the rope out of my adventurer's pack or explorer's pack or whatever the hell it is, and toss one end of it to him.
Okay. Sure, he catches it.
All right, and then I drop the other end down the hole.
You drop the other end down the hole.
And then I yell down and say, "So the magic poop isn't working. Let's just use the rope." And then I square off between him and the dwarves.
Okay. At this point, everybody roll initiative.
And we should say goodbye to YouTube for the first time.
Bye bye,
Bye,
YouTube.
YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.
Bye, YouTube.